Hey, what's up? In this After Effects video, we'll be creating this wavy line using the displacement map. Let's create a new composition. I'm using a HD 30 frames 10-second duration. And first up, I'm creating a new solid. Let's just call this wave line, same as the comp size. Doesn't matter what the color is. Let's go to look for our beam in our effects. So let's set our beam up. Starting position 0, 540. Ending position 1920, 540. Length 100. So if you want, you can use the stroke using the shape, using the pen tool to create a stroke, but I think both are fine. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so thickness 8 by 8. You can change that later. Next up, we will create our displacement. Look for our displacement map. Displacement map here. Bring in our displacement map, and then we'll create a new solid. Control Y to create a new solid. This is our displacement map. For the color, use a 50% gray. So 50% on the HSB B. So 50% B will be giving us a 808080. And we'll pre-compose this. Control Shift C. Pre-compose this. Displacement, mem, precomp. Okay, so this is our displacement map. We'll be creating the displacement that will create the wave. So let's go back here. Turn off, hide our displacement comp. Wave line under displacement, select our displacement precomp, and then we can set the horizontal displacement to 0, and we'll be using the vertical displacement. So let's set it to 200-ish. For now, nothing is happening because our displacement map is gray. So gray means nothing will happen. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to change my workspace a little. I'm going to lock this comp here, and then view, new viewer. Let's just move things around. Move this to this side, move this to this side. Give me more space, don't need this. Okay, so this is our workspace for now. I'm gonna come in on to this right side here, double click on my displacement, and I'll be inside my my displacement comp. First step, let's duplicate this. So our bottom layer will be the middle gray, so it will not be touched. Second layer onwards, we'll do stuff with it, gradient, ramp. Apply the gradient ramp. We will need to put the ramp from left to right. So 0 and the end of the ramp 1920, 1080. So 0, 1080, 1920, 1080. So that means that my gradient ramp is going from the left to the right and in a horizontal line. Next, we'll bring up the colorama, C-O-L-O-R-A-M-A, colorama, and we get a rainbow. Okay, so colorama uses the colors, which is the gradient ramp, and creates a color bending kind of thing effect. That's how it works. So we'll select the solarized gray. So we're going to get this solarized gray effect. We will be using the phase shift to move this left and right continuously, and we'll be using cycle repetitions to create the number of bands, the waves. So for now, maybe you can do 4. And for our phase shift, alternate click on the stopwatch. I prefer to use expressions. Let's use time times 90 for a start and see how it looks like. Let's play. So this is how it looks like. Okay, so we need to smoothen out the blur, the edges, the zigzag, make it like a curve. Let's use a fast blur. Fast box blur. We'll be using the horizontal only. So increase it to softer, and then we'll get a wavy line here. We can slowly start to see our wave forming. Repeat each pixels. So this is what it does. It does this kind of like a effect where it drags the line across a little too much. So this is our basic setup. What we can do with this, some animation on and off kind of thing. So let's do something quick. Press T to bring our opacity, turn it on again. 0 to let's say 1.5, and we'll do 1 second and start to see. So let's go back to this comp. So you can start to see it looks a bit more organic, like the wave is starting to form up here when you animate it this way. So another thing you can try, if we want to make the wave go up and down, let's duplicate this. Control D to duplicate, and I'll bring up U. I'm going to drag this after my first after the first part of the animation, and let's play with this. So bring up the colorama, the output cycle, let's put it to 1. So this is what happens. 1 cycle of repetition, we're gonna get one side white, one side black kind of thing. We will need to make the blurriness more blurry. Make the blurriness more blurry, well done. Okay, so tweak the fast blur and you have to adjust it such that it fits this range of this wavelength. And what I also play around with is that with the repeat edge pixels, it looks better for this case. Without, it gets this thing here. So let's turn it on. So we have to take a look at each effect and see what looks better. And we get this up and down motion. What I want to do is to stack this on top of this. So instead of 100% opacity, let's go for 50%. When it animates, this is what's gonna happen. We are stacking both layers together. Let's go back to the previous comp, preview this, and you can see we have a extra wave on the wave. Yeah, if it makes sense, wave on the wave. Okay, what we can do is to increase the displacement amount, 500-ish. Another effect that we can try is to create this look where there's no displacement on the center, and then we are just making this on the left and the right, which is kind of like the Arctic Monkeys album cover, one of those album covers that Arctic Monkeys had. Okay, so let's come back in here again, let's create a gray solid, make sure it's middle gray here. Okay, and then we're going to create a mask. Double click on the rectangle tool over here, create a mask that fits our size, our comp size here. Open up the mask and we'll start from the middle without any mask, go to the 1.5 second mark to create a mask. So let's keyframe the path at 1.5 seconds first, go to 0 seconds and double click on our mask shape, go to the side here, hold Control and just drag it in so that it is almost nothing. So this means that it's going to animate from inside out. Next, we're going to feather it. So uncheck this chain constraint thing on the feather. So X and Y means that we want to feather it on the X only. You can take a look at how well it looks like here. 500 might seem well. And then we come up to the end frame here. I think it will be better to expand the mask just a bit on the width so that the feathering is compensated. So it is holding my center area here. So next part, I don't want it to cover the whole width. I don't need it to cover the whole width. So let me shorten it. Double click on the sides again. Hold on to the edges. Click Control and bring it in just like this. So as you can see, my wave is like this. And then I'm getting the center to be gray. Let's take a look at it here. Go to my previous comp. Let's play and see how it looks like. So you can see the center area is more toned down. Let's make it more obvious. So 15 frames, I'm having it open. I'm gonna also increase my number of cycles here. Let's give it 8 more cycles. And we're getting this look. So let's just call it pin middle. Makes sense. We can duplicate this. Instead of pin middle, we can do a pin sides. Open it up, double click U, and instead of add, we do subtract. And the mask, expand it just to reach the edges here, so that we can get this touching the edges on a horizontal line. So this is riff without, this is riff. So it makes it looks like the two sides are locked. If you want to extend the amount of wavelength without touching the displacement, you can add a curves to this here. But the thing about the curves is that you kind of need to tweak it very well. So you need to make sure that your bottom and your top is as equal as possible so that you don't let it go too much on one side. So let's say we do something like this. So this is with, this is without. You can see that the wavelength has more extension to the top and bottom. So if that's what you want to tweak, you can do that individually. Let's play and preview. So it does kind of remind me of the Arctic Monkeys album cover. Back in our main comp, we have our beam and displacement map. I think that the wave is not taking enough. Let's say I double this to 16 by 16, and then I zoom in and see that you can see that the wave is kind of expanded on the vertical side and squeezed in on the horizontal side. And if I increase my displacement even more, it will be even more obvious. So let's turn it back. So basically it kind of stretches it because of the displacement map. One solution I have to this is to use a Vegas effect here, and let's just tweak the settings. Segment 1, color change to white or whichever color you want your wave to be. Width will be as thick as you want, so maybe you do 20. Start opacity, mid opacity to 1, hardness all the way to 1, and opacity to 1 as well, and then we get a more consistent wave line here. Feel free to play around with the rest of the settings. This is what I found to have worked, and it kind of removes this stretching of the line with the displacement map here. Go ahead and play around with these effects. There are many ways to explore this, and I find this easier to manipulate. So in my next video, I'm going to show you how to create another wave using the now and wiggling it